This is the introductory video for Virtual Dissection 5, the shoulder. What I've done here is I've loaded the sagittal images from the visible human. I've started off relatively lateral here. If I grab the slider and move it, you can see that we're moving medially. This muscle here, this is the deltoid muscle. We're getting into the humeral head here. This is the rotator cuff. It's a conjoined tendon, basically. As we go more medially, we're going to look at the individual parts of the constituent parts of the rotator cuff. This right here is the short head of the biceps tendon. Let's go ahead and go through or toward the glenohumeral joint. So this is still the humeral head. This right here is the acromion process. In a little while, I'll show you how you can tell front from back. So we're getting out of the humeral head and we're getting into the glenoid. And this is the glenoid right here. I'm going to go back out a little bit. So humeral head right here, this tiny little part that's left, and this right here is the cartilage of the glenoid, also called the glenoid labrum. I'm going to move a little more medially, and you can see that there's this hook right here that is hanging off of the scapula. This is the coracoid process, and the coracoid process points anteriorly. So this is anterior right here. Posteriorly, I'm going to move a little more medially. You have the spine of the scapula. This back here is the spine of the scapula, and you can palpate that on yourself. This, for the sake of completeness, is the clavicle. Let me move a little more medial to get to the money image right here. You can see that the scapula has the appearance of a Y. It is Y-shaped. In fact, there's an X-ray view of the scapula called the scapular Y view, which we'll get into later when you're third-year medical students. But this is the spine of the scapula right here. And if you know that, you can figure out these muscles pretty easily. This muscle right here that's in front of the spine of the scapula and above the spine of the scapula, this is the supraspinatus muscle. This big muscle here behind and below the scapular spine, that's going to be the infraspinatus muscle. This smaller muscle right here on the posterior aspect of the scapula, this is the infraspinatus muscle. And this large muscle here in front of the scapula is the subscapularis muscle. The money image for looking to see whether or not the rotator cuff is torn or not is the coronal view, and we'll look at some examples of coronal images during the in-class session. Thank you very much.